Hey guys, Likey here, and before we start today, I'd like to shout out my clan, which is IK Esports. It's basically my team clan. The team is Instant Karma, but you don't have to be on the team to join the clan and help out. Right now we're at 33 members. I think we're pretty healthy, so definitely join up if you want to help us with clan wars. Just have an active clan, practice, things like that. So now that that's out of the way, we're gonna get into the video, and the video is that I was able to get to 6,024 trophies, so Champion League, with this deck and these levels that you see here, with a level 12 Expo, a level 12 Rocket, um, and the log level doesn't really matter, so that's fine. But yeah, basically what I did was I wanted to use 2.9 because 2.9 is my favorite Expo deck. It's a really, really solid deck, but I didn't quite have the right levels. So I replaced the Ice Golem with the Knight because my Ice Golem couldn't kill bats anyway. It was only level 11. Then I replaced the Fireball for the Rocket because I've been leveling up the Rocket a lot more, so the Fireball's a level lower. So I put the Rocket in there, and then I need the Fireball's defensive coverage of like Minion Horde and stuff, so I just replaced the Skeletons with Fire Spirits, and then that worked really well for me. So I kind of did what I had to do for ladder, and it worked out. Also, I have the ability to Rocket Cycle, which a lot of Expo decks can't do, so I found that very helpful as well. So we're just going to be going over some replays that led up to 6K with this deck. Also, my friend Isak, he also got it with a level 12 Expo with a very similar deck. So it definitely is a great option for you guys. So let's go into some replays against hard matchups. I think this RG and Golem, this RG and this Golem are pretty good battles to watch. So let's go into the RG one and see what I do about it. So this deck isn't quite the same as 2.9 because you do have the Knight, so your mini tank does deal damage. Sometimes if they just place a Giant, like I can just put a Knight on it and just like kill it with a Knight. And that's something you can't do with 2.9, but yeah, overall, I found it to be a pretty solid deck, especially for the levels I have, so he's gonna play a Furnace, and anytime someone plays like a spawner in the middle, I always go defensive Expo just to take it out. And he decides to go in with an aggressive RG to take it out. Now, I didn't want the Ewis to kill my Ice Spirit, so I put my archers on it. He barb barrels, and he's gonna get some damage with that RG, and I think the Mega Minion gets some damage too. Yeah. So overall, not a great start for me, but you can expect to take a bit of damage from RG. It's a pretty annoying deck because it pretty much gets guaranteed damage unless you set up your defense properly. So I know he doesn't have RG because he used it, so I set up an Expo. Unfortunately, only one of my Fire Spirits decides to jump, so that Raged Ewis is going to be able to take my Expo out. So not looking too good for now. As you can see, I do an Ice Spirit trick, which is you let the Ice Spirit absorb one Fire Spirit, and then it'll kill another wave. So it gets like more value than one elixir. So that's something you can do against Furnace if they're just being super annoying with it. Then I also split my archers to help with the Furnace as well. And he sends in a baby dragon, so I can defend his barb barrel and baby dragon with just a knight, which is good value. So overall, I'm just trying to look for a way that I could maybe break through. But against RG, you typically want to set up defensive expos like this one. So you put it in that placement so that they can't lightning your weaker tower and your expo. And he decides to furnace behind the tower, so that gives me a good rocket. I'm always looking for just some value on my rocket if I can get it, especially against hard matchups where I can't break through. So then I use a knight to block that lumberjack from getting to my archers, and yeah, overall it's looking really good. I know he doesn't have RG right now, so I think I go with an Expo. And Expo is a lot about okay, so I go with the defensive Expo, but Expo is a lot about having a sense for your opponent's cycle and also your opponent's elixir. So, for example, against like a golem or an RG, you need to know when they can't play a golem, meaning either they don't have enough elixir or it's not in cycle. You need to know that. It's better if they don't have enough elixir for a golem because then they because then they kind of have trouble playing anything else too. So he overcommitted on like a lightning. He uses RG, so I go in with an Expo that ends up locking to his tower. And against like a really hard matchup like this, if you end up getting a lock to a tower, you really want to defend your Expo with your life, because the more damage you can get, like if you can get within this range here, which is rocket cycle range, at least for my level 12 rocket, it's around 1100. That means 2 rockets. So if you can get to that range, you're pretty solid. So if you're already in that range, you don't need to keep defending your Expo, but if you think you might get into that range, definitely defend it. So I use my Tesla to defend. He uses a lightning, but overall I'm able to defend him out. And I'm ready to do 2 rockets. His lightning won't kill it at its current state. So I think I send in my first rocket once I defend this furnace. So there's my first rocket. Now I need to get back to a second rocket. I can't let his RG get any hits, because if it does, he can just lightning and win. So I set up my archers. I set up my Tesla high so he can't lightning it. And yeah, he tries to lightning anyway. It's not going to be enough, and that lets me just finish the game with a rocket. So yeah, I was able to get one good lock, get it into rocket cycle range, and use 2 rockets. So that's typically how I beat a lot of hard matchups with this deck. So we can go over this Golem deck here. Yeah, so he doesn't have a heavy spell, so it's a bit easier, but still, like, you can work around it. So, like, if they have lightning, make sure you're using your archers always, because they're going to be, like, your main defense. And if the golem has poison, then your Tesla is probably going to be your main defense, but you should be able to defend it anyway. So, since he played a Night Witch, I know it's probably Golem, and Golem decks, if in single elixir, they play a 4 elixir card, they can't get their Golem in time if you place your Expo. So, because he placed his Night Witch, I was able to get a good Expo lock there, just by knowing that he wouldn't have enough for the Expo, to Golem the Expo. And, yeah, that's typically what you want to do versus Golem, and I didn't even need to see more of his deck. As soon as I saw the Night Witch, I just took a pretty safe bet, assuming that he was running Golem. So, that's something you definitely want to look out for. If they indicate they're playing Golem, if they do like a Baby Dragon in the back, or a Night Witch on the back, Baby Dragon probably isn't as safe, because it might not be Golem, but it's still worth it to try. And if they do that, then they can't get a Golem down, they have to use something else. So, he uses a furnace, so I decided to go with an Expo. Now, he is going to be able to Golem it this time, so that's unfortunate for me. But it's not, like, too bad if they manage to Golem into your Expo. And sometimes, even if you have a huge lead, like, you can actually take out their Golem with your Expo Tesla, and then your Expo still gets a lock, but that's not very often. So he sets up his Golem push. Looks like I'm going to be able to defend it fine and go with another Expo. So that's another thing you can do. Like, if they play your Golem into your, if they play their Golem into your Expo, then you can pretty much set up another Expo, and they're not going to have their Golem in cycle, because you defended and cycled a lot more cards than they did. So right now he doesn't have his Golem in cycle, and yeah, he sets up a furnace. So I think I play an Expo in a position that's going to take out that furnace. And you don't really want to block a defensive Expo with a Golem. That's just not worth it. So I'm able to take out that furnace for a positive elixir trade. He plays Night Witch in the back. I'm already trying to rocket cycle, so I send in my first rocket. I don't know why he's using Hog Kiss. I think he thought he was going to win because I used a rocket and I overcommitted. But, yeah, I'm able to defend pretty well. Set up a Tesla. Set up archers behind the Tesla is another really good play. Set up another Tesla up high just to pull everything back there. Knight to block the flying machine. I make sure I take out that flying machine with... no, I don't. I just use an Ice Spirit, then I use archers. And I'm just being totally safe, just making sure he can't get to the tower. and there's my second rocket. So that's good game to him, and good luck. And so those were like the two hardest matchups I can think of, Golem and RG. I could show you guys one more though. This one is against Hog Cycle, Hog 2.6, which for traditional 2.9 is kind of annoying because you can never really break through. If either player wants to tie, like, it's going to be a tie. But yeah, I can still show it to you guys, and if you're clever, you can get an XBOW lock. So he's going to send in a Hog. I'm just going to use a Tesla on that. That's totally fine. Typically, I want to use my Tesla on his Hog every time because it just denies all damage. I don't want to deal with a Hog. So I played my XBOW, and typically Hog 2.6 players play a cannon on it. So I played my archers to defend it, but he managed to get his cannon locked onto my XBOW anyway, but not before I got some hits, so that's fine. And also, if Hog Cycle ever wastes an Ice Golem, like they cycle it in the back or something, immediately go with XBOW and something to defend their cannon, because once you defend their once they don't have Ice Golem, and you have something blocking a cannon or a musketeer, that's almost a guaranteed lock, because even if it's not a lock, it gets tons of value taking out anything they put down for it, basically. So he predicts that I'll go XBOW with a cannon, which is a very good cannon, but I'm not that aggressive, so I'm able to just take that cannon out. Now he predicts that I'm going to go XBOW here, but I don't actually. I play the XBOW after that, and like I said, if he has Ice Golem, your XBOW's probably not gonna break through, at least if he's a good player, because he'll just be able to soak up a lot of damage with Ice Golem, more time than the 2 elixir Ice Golem is worth. So definitely, if they waste their Ice Golem, you can go in. So I did have like 5 people watching me this whole time when I was pushing up. So that's why you see like emotes in the background, but yeah, here we go. I go with archers. Now he goes with Ice Golem Hog, and Tesla's going to do fine. He plays a very good musketeer, which is actually going to take that out, so I have to commit a knight to it as well. But that's fine. Here I go with a defensive XBOW, so once again he predicts that I'll go offensive XBOW. And that is something that that I could have done, and I probably would have done in a different circumstance. Maybe if I was feeling a bit more aggressive, but so far he's not managed to predict an XBOW with a cannon properly. So here I have my knight in front of my XBOW, so I can go in. Now there's his Ice Golem. I use my Tesla here because I know that if he goes with Hog on the XBOW, I want to defend it. And technically that Tesla isn't the best. It should be one tile closer to the XBOW, because then if it's right next to the XBOW, it'll pull the Hog. But I use Fire Spirit's log and get an XBOW lock, and then one XBOW lock is really enough with this deck, because you do have the rocket in here. You can cycle 2 rockets, and it's GG. So there's my first rocket. He's basically never going to get through with the Hog because I have the Tesla. There's his Hog. I set up my Tesla. He fireballs it, so well played. But still, like, one Hog hit isn't really going to do him much in terms of winning the match. And I send in my second rocket and a log, and then that's GG. And as you can see, this was the last battle before 6K, so... And I had tilted quite a bit before it, so I BM'd. Not proud of it, but I did what I had to do. So, that's 6K with a level 12 XBOW level 12 rocket. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If your levels are anything like mine and this deck is better leveled than your 2.9 deck, then you can definitely go for it. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, shout out to IK Esports. We're pretty active here, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.